There we go. Welcome, everybody. I hope everyone's fine. The last time the Potty Mouth Garden Club is on this channel. Today is the last time. So we're going to have a bit of fun today and welcome you all in. Please pop into the comments. If you're in live, that'd be fantastic. If you're watching it after the date, hello anyways. It's nice to have you on and listening. But we are going over to a new channel. This is the one. So please subscribe. There's links all over the place. And I've got it mentioned in my place and everywhere like that. So please pop over there. We will run the intro and then we will see our fine guests. Yes, so the very last time on this channel, look at them, they're all eager gardeners waiting to go there. Stephen, so nice to have you on again, sir.
Thank you very much.
We've got a balmy 18 degrees. Now that's pretty good for you, isn't it?
It's hot stuff here.
Hotter than hell there. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, nice to have you on, lad. We will get to you very soon. Thank you very much. JB, now I was just looking at you. Look at the difference from Steve 18 to you 26.
It's roasting. It is roasting today.
What does your garden can handle the veg you've got in at that, or is it just struggle full time?
Well,
Because I've seen your latest video, JB, and I'm not sure. I'd say the word struggle is a kind of understatement in that. You know what I mean? Every plant itself is kind of on a bit of a. We'll talk about it later, but it seems to be struggling. So, JB, lovely to have you on, lad. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And Audrey, all the way there in Detroit. Now, I said Audrey's top was white, but no, it's pink. And it looks very lovely, Audrey. Thank you very much.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
30 degrees over there for you, Audrey. And you said it's humid as well. It's just like an oven.
Oh, it's 85% humidity, so it's like walking into a blast furnace. It's horrible.
Oh, dear me, dear me.
It's a very hot day.
Yes, well, it's actually, for us today, it was all right this morning, but then by the afternoon, it's just ramped up there. So I'm not actually sure what I've got. Have I got 21 at the moment there? And I haven't actually been up to the allotment today, and I'm not even going up. Watered yesterday. I've been too busy today. Oh, I'm leaving it today. If anyone wants a question asked or answered by these three garden geniuses, people that know their onions inside. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Sorry there. Right.
Genius.
Put it in the comments if you're live. You can get a question answered there. Please drop it. Put a capital Q before your answer, and then I'm just going to type it in there now. Q. Then I will see your answers or your questions, and I can read them out. So put a capital Q before your question, and that would be fantastic. So we're ready to rock and roll. Oh no, we're not. Housekeeping. Discord. Pop over there. That would be fantastic. We are there. Saying hello. If you want some questions answered, think of this. I know. Look at them little puny sweet corn, Stephen.
I don't know. Terrible.
Is everything going all right with sweet corn? And let's start with that, Steve. Is the sweet corn looking all good? Is everything going all right?
It's doing good. It's about 6.5 foot, 7 foot tall now, which is good because that means I get more and more cobs on each plant. So in general, I'm looking at getting about 3.5 cobs off a plant.
And are your cobs, when you say this, is your second and third cobs as good as your first cob?
Yeah, generally.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, any
because
secret?
you haven't broken those roots, because I've got the whole plant surrounded, as you know. I've said this many times. If they're like big sails, and as soon as the wind hits them and they start blowing around in the wind, the roots are so shallow that they break, and if they break, they can't feed, and they can't feed your cobs. So protecting your plants right from word go is more important than feeding, I think.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know you did tell us I think it was last year, to actually put a cover around it. I've been too lazy I must admit, too lazy
Yes.
But I have got my little wooden frame which I think in some ways is protecting a little bit under kind of. It's about a foot deep before you hit the compost in that bed as well, Steve. So
Right.
you know, that's me. But they look good. You know what I mean? I think I might have. I haven't actually checked if I've got like 2 or 3. What do you call them for the cobs? Cobs, right? I had to know what. Might have 2 on most plants, I think. But you know what I mean?
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Oh no. Audrey, are you a sweet corn girl?
I do like sweet corn, but I only grow popcorn.
Right. Well, I think you've mentioned this before. So is that when you say popcorn, that is literally popcorn you eat for movies popcorn?
Right. And
what's he laughing at there? He's saying gardener extra dollars if anyone, but I know, but I'm just making sure I'm devil's advocate for the audience, JB. That's what it is for.
Okay, we'll go with that. Yeah, I grow that instead of sweet corn.
Right.
We have a farmer's market very close to us that has incredible organic sweet corn.
And you
can't beat that.
Right. So just walk us through then. You sow it, you plant it, you grow it, you pick it. Then you just use a knife and take it off and then fry it in a pan?
No. You let it form its heads or the cobs, and then you let it dry right on the stalk.
Right.
And so you crack it off once it's dry, and then my granddaughter loves to peel all the little seeds off, so I just let her do that.
When you say peel them off, are you, like with your hands, you just got to rub them off kind of thing, do you?
Well, yeah, once there's a little missing group of the little corns, it's much easier. Then you can get in there and just get at the base.
But see, it's
funny. I wait till I see her at the holidays, and then that's her little job.
And then cooking, how about cooking it then? Just a little bit of melted butter in a pan?
I use olive oil.
Right.
About 2 tablespoons. Probably about 2 tablespoons. Put it in the pan, pop it.
Right. See, you know what it is? It's because we like it's not kind of for us that, you know what I mean? It's a kind of bizarre concept growing popcorn. Yeah, we're getting into kind of sweet corn and all that now. But Steve, have you ever grown popcorn?
I haven't, no, but I was just imagining it. When you get your popcorn, it's a fully formed cob and there's no gaps. But I should imagine as they dry, they separate, and you have seeds just sort of sticking out. I should imagine, a bit like Brussels sprouts, and they'd be easy to pick off. Is that the case, Audrey?
Well, they're easy because the cob is dry too.
Yeah.
So everything is essentially dry. So yeah, they're not hard to pick off at all.
Oh, well, that's
and
good.
They're very good. It's very good. And I grew little strawberry popcorn for her last year, and they literally are like a large strawberry, and they're red popcorns.
Brilliant.
But they were so little, I thought, wow, that is a lot of work for a little tea. And you can actually put these, I think, in the microwave. I've never done this, but I've heard this. You can put them in the microwave, and they pop right on the cob.
Oh.
Now, Audrey, just out, I know Steve was good with his granddad and went through, but you know, granddaughters and grandsons and that, they might just grow up and not discover drink at a certain age and forget coming over and popping popcorn with grandma and don't, you know.
So, I'm sorry, what's your point, Tony?
I'm just saying, it's one of them things where they grow up and, you know what I mean, they kind of...
Well, I mean, she's still quite small. She's only 5.
Well, there we go.
So I'm not, and I've got a lot of little ones in the neighborhood around us, so I think they'll all enjoy that.
Right. JB, you put your hand up for actually popcorn.
Yes.
Have you grown it?
I'm growing it. That's the stuff that I'm trying this year.
Right.
And I was laughing when you said it's
2 plants
movies because I'm like, it's more than 2 plants, Steve. You've seen it. I'm like a popcorn evangelist. I love it. I'm always eating popcorn. It's what I have instead of crisps, generally. So that's why I was offended when you said it's only for movies. Absolutely love this stuff. So,
healthy, very healthy.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. So, the issue is that in this country, everyone says it can be a bit tricky doing popcorn because it takes a lot longer. We've got a
Right.
slightly shorter season, and my plants are quite behind anyway. It was like a last minute gamble. You know, we were on one of these live shows, and someone said, "Yeah, you can do popcorn in a pot. Try it in a pot." So I bought some big pots, and that's what I got going on the plot at the moment.
You
That's a lot
never
of
know.
pots and popcorn, isn't it? But I got there.
Can you move it? Can you move it into your greenhouse?
Maybe,
Yeah, I'm just
They are
wondering if
quite
you're
big.
short on. Yeah,
but later on,
that might be
maybe.
a way to extend. Give it another, 20 days or
yeah.
something.
JB, how would you cook yours then?
Yeah, like Audrey says, bit of oil straight in the pan. There's a little trick that you do where you kind of let the oil heat up, then you put the kernels in, and then you take it off the heat. You give it a good shake so that the kernels all come to an even temperature, then you put it back on the heat, and that's how you get like a nice even. None of it gets burnt, and it all pops roughly the same time. Popcorn tips.
Popcorn tips. So I'm guessing when we talk about cinema popcorn, you don't do sweet or salted then, do you not, JB?
I love it all.
All right.
I'll take it anyway.
I don't know.
Absolutely anyway. I'll
Right.
eat it
Oh,
all.
that's lovely. It's funny. It's Steve. It's something we should have a bash at. You know what I mean? I love like kind of things we've never tried and that. And like you say, if you can get an early start on it, you never know. Do you know what I mean? That's for us. It's like trying to beat that early. You know what I mean? Trying to get a little early kick to have a longer season. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm game for it. We'll have a go next year. Well, I've been given another challenge today by my Anne today. She says, why don't you all try and grow wasabi next year?
right.
Interesting.
So I think we should look into that and see if we can or can't.
Did you, Steve, by any chance watch Clarkson when he grew it?
I think I remember him failing at that, but it was close. It was either that or him failing at something else, because basically he failed at everything, didn't he?
Well, he actually planted it. He looked into it, and he says you've got to have it sitting in running water.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I
Yeah,
grow
that'd be a bit
wasabi
tricky.
radishes.
Say that
Does
again,
that
Audrey?
count? I grow wasabi radishes and wasabi arugula.
Right.
Does that count?
What's arugula again? What do we call arugula?
Rocket. Is that rocket?
Oh, rocket, yes.
Right.
Right.
So that's a good challenge, Stephen. I will be there waiting. Crack
And
it on.
they're hot. I mean, they taste like wasabi.
Do they?
So-
Right.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
Nice.
Right. Let us just talk about then. We'll just get on to me notes. Again, if questions, put a capital Q and we'll get to them as well. But I just wanted to kind of... JB had a challenge. We set JB a challenge there. And
Oh God, yeah.
yes, to do because JB's always kind of telling me that it's just his editing takes hours, the filming takes hours, and it's just there's not enough time in the day. And JB, when that's come through that I watched that video, that was one of the funniest things, because you could tell every time where there was going to be where you would normally edit. Do you know what I mean? They were like so telegraphed, and you were like had to keep going, had to keep the ice cream at the very beginning going. What was it like then, just doing it like a one take? Because I knew there was a couple of edits in, obviously, but
Yes.
was it a full one take video?
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, it was more than one video file.
Yeah.
But it was all pretty continuous. I didn't kind of stop and repeat myself like I normally do. Like it's normally the intro and the outro that take me the longest. They're just so difficult to get right. When I'm kind of in the flow of the main video.
And there was none of that. There was none of that in there. You just kind of did it. Each take was one take. That's what I want to get to the bottom of, JB.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
So that's...
it was really difficult. As soon as I put it out, I was like, I wanted to like take it off and take it back and do more editing.
Put a bit of colour grade on there and a little bit of...
Yeah.
I think you did very well, to be honest. And my favourite bit in there was when you were telling your plants off, must try harder.
Oh, I know.
That was absolutely brilliant.
Blame the plants, not me.
It was a kind of... There's a lot of things struggling. It's hard to be like positive to JP. You know what I mean? There's like, and I'm guessing it's like you say, if you've got 20 odd degrees. What have you got there at the moment? There, 20, still 26. You know what I mean?
Gosh.
It's like
Yeah.
it's bloody hard. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, you know what it is.
What's the bloody point?
And it's exactly. So
Yeah,
are we
I
gonna?
think Sorry,
Well,
go on.
yeah, go on by all means.
I was going to say everything in the greenhouse is doing pretty okay. That's kind of the main. If everything in the greenhouse is okay, then I'm okay. Like that's where the good stuff is. That's like the heart of my allotment.
Chilies.
So I don't feel too despondent. Yeah, exactly, the chilies. So I don't feel too. Speaking of chilies,
Look at that! Look at that!
go on here for later maybe. So yeah, I don't feel too bad. The sweet corn's looking quite healthy, a little bit behind, but it's nice to see big green healthy thing on the allotment compared to like a lot of stuff just being really slow. I've had some success with courgettes and squashes finally starting to
It's
find
funny,
their feet.
GB. That's exactly. I've had that, mind you, where you plant the plants and you put it in looking healthy, and it just sits there for
Sulks.
but for months. Do you know what I mean? And you're
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of thinking,
yeah.
I'm watering, I'm feeding, and then especially courgettes, you'll get this like little yellow courgette, then it'll wither, and you're thinking, what goes on there, Stephen? What's not working? Why is that plant sitting there?
It's difficult, and I think there could be a couple of reasons. One, the temperature's not quite right for it outside. There might have also been some temperature fluctuation from where you had it and to where you planted it.
That's definitely
It
true.
could also be that the roots aren't properly developed on the plants to go outside and start growing away strongly, or that the roots have gone sort of spiral around the pot, and then they're taking the time getting out into the soil and therefore growing. So it'd be checking those things when you plant them, just making sure everything's hunky-dory. That's why I'm a bit of a demon for potting things on constantly, watching for the roots coming out the bottom and then potting them on. If you keep that movement, that cycle going all the time with the plant, when you put them out, they should be all right. Should be, but it's never always the case.
I think the main thing for a lot of those plants was that they did
Just the
feature on one
temperature.
of these streams, actually. A lot of those are the ones that got completely cooked in the greenhouse. And I forgot I'd actually replaced the glass and it was going to get warm in there. So I think they didn't have the best start. And we live and learn. Live and learn, don't we?
It is like hard, do you know what I mean? And it's just like it's like it's what God has a kind of given as a task, but it's like frustrating as well when you've brought these on. Do you know what I mean? And they look lovely, and yet, and like I say, there's nothing you can do about heat, but it's a bugger.
I mean, the same family, melons, they're really, really susceptible to heat change difference. They can get a chill going from your greenhouse to your car to take them away to an allotment, for example. And that can be enough to put them back for weeks. Just that little bit of a chill as they come out of a warm greenhouse. You've got to be so careful with them.
Now, I've just had a message off Audrey saying she doesn't know what's happened. She's just went there. We've said goodbye to Audrey for now, but hopefully we can get her back.
She'll be back.
She'll be back, I'm sure. So, yes, JB, are we going to then back to the JB? Are we going to do more of that? Was it quite liberating in the end, or was it?
It was very liberating.
Right.
It was. It's quite freeing in a way, you know. Like I definitely do spend way too long on my holidays.
I know this is kind of not guarded, but I'm quite interested in it. What are you saying that's not right in an intro and because it's purely just like, hello, we're going to be doing this. You know what I mean? Follow us around. What you struggle with?
I don't know. I wish I could place it. I feel like the intro is the most important part of the video because you never know when you're going to have that one video that YouTube starts pushing and start showing to lots of different people because that's how the algorithm works. Every now and then it will take one of your videos and start showing it to more people. And whether or not people click on that video is what determines how much it is then pushed to others. So I feel like I've got to get the intro right. You're not always going to be a returning subscriber. You know, what if it's a new person and I'm there just like, chatting nonsense. All the stuff I say at the beginning has nothing to do with what is on the rest of the video. I don't know. It just takes me a little while to find my words. I'm like that live as well. I'm always like saying the wrong thing. My brain is not very good at talking.
I think we've got
the problem.
We've got Audrey back there. I'll just say hello, Audrey. Are you all right there? What happened?
Yes, that was very exciting. Everything went black, and there was an odd hum. And I tried to get on, it wouldn't let me, so I rebooted, and here we are.
There we go. You can always like switch it off and switch it on again. Works every
Let's try again.
Every time.
Yep.
Steve, what were you going to say?
I was just wondering if for JB it was a case of him actually getting into the zone of actually telling people what he's doing at the allotments, or to, just to get in that moment. And that's probably what's taking him the time. Maybe you should be thinking 100%. About it on the way to the allotments. Going over a couple of sentences before you get there. But as Tony says, it's just like, hello, everybody, here I am. And today we're going to do this.
What my biggest thing is, mind you, is because I get excited when I'm like in the house going up the allotment to do a video. I get like, and it's only like 300 yards over the kind of way. And I kind of, sprinting up. And then I get there. And then I kind of, hello everyone, I just want to say, what a great idea. Hey, and I'm realizing I'm kind of like almost hyperventilating. And I think, right, that has to go. You know what I mean? So I kind of put the camera down and take, do JB's, take your time, do it again.
Yes.
Or I woke up a bit slower.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot. Like I rush the start because I don't want the intro to be too long. I want to get into the video. So I'll be there like, hi folks, like we're going to do this today. And I'm like, whoa, slow down.
But honestly, JB, I thought that video there was brilliant because there was things out of your control, but you let them roll. Do you know what I mean? And it's more natural, man. People are loving it, and you've had comments about it as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of sweet. Anyway, that's the technical side of it. Let's talk about other things. Gardening. Has anyone heard? I've seen, and it's been in the comments a few times and things like this. This thing called super soil. What's super soil? Has anyone heard of this? A few people mentioned. All right, I might use that super soil and do it this way. Has anyone heard of super soil?
No, new one on me.
I've heard of it, but just from UK gardeners.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know many details, but I know Mr. Digwell Greenfingers has done a few videos. And he does a lot of kind of soil comparisons. And I saw some of his stuff on, what's it called? I've completely forgotten the name instantly.
Digwell
Super Soil. No,
Super Soil.
Super Soil. All right.
Super Soil. Yeah. He's done I think a few videos on that, and he really rated it. But I have no idea. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know what's in it.
Right. So that's what I didn't even know what it was, JB. It's actually a product you buy, like a bag of compost. That's what we're talking about, is it?
I believe he did say it was quite expensive, but you don't use. It's like an additive to your soil.
Right.
It's not what you actually plant.
Well, if anyone knows about it, put it in the comments and we'll have a little look. You know what I mean? That would be fantastic. I've been talking about like board things, and this is my next one, and I'm just going to ask Steve as well. Steve, especially, do you often use garden centres? Do you still go to garden centres?
Occasionally, not much. Probably maybe once a season. Generally, it's in the early part of the year when I'm looking for compost. But mostly, I'll browse online first, so I know what prices are on and what deals are on. I'm always looking for the cheapest, of course, because. That's me.
You.
But generally in the start of the season, I'm sort of thinking sort of January, February, when I'm probably the only visitor in the whole day.
I was interested to find that out because I know, like you say, you just everything you kind of grow from scratch and from seed. But I was thinking, I wonder if you actually do go to a garden centre and just, you know what I mean? Because we go and. The kind of the thing for me is, Steve, I just cannot help. If I pass, like, say, some celeriac, especially, say, something like that, and I'm thinking, they look way better than the ones I've got. Bugger it. You know what I mean? £3, I'll have them. You know what I mean? I'll take them. You know what I mean? I can't help myself. I get excited. You know. Audrey,
Yeah, and I understand that. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who do exactly the same thing, and they'll end up with too many plants because of it as well. Because while they're doing that, they'll say, those cabbages also look good. I'm going to have a pack of them.
Oh.
You know, you come away with all kinds of things that you didn't want in the first place.
And nowhere to plant them.
Nowhere to plant them. Yeah, it can easily happen. I mean, I've sown so many seeds, and I'm not going to be able to plant them all, but I can't help myself. I've just sown them because I do.
I was going to come to that later, Steve, because I want you thinking, cap on. I want you to name everyone so we can kind of record this and we can all plant and sow along with you. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that'd be nice. Audrey, what's it like over there in the USA? Is it kind of? Do you go to garden centres? Are there a big thing over there?
Well, yes, I think. There was one that I loved, and they closed down, and so now it's more big box kind of garden centers.
Right.
And I'm not that interested. I mean, that's where I go for bags of manure and potting mix, but I don't buy many plants there.
I think the big box must be a bit like, say, Home Bargains for us, you know, where they've got their own like garden centre bits there. So
yeah, it's like one end of the building is all the garden. And yeah, sometimes there's nice deals, or sometimes I'm looking for something that I'm not going to grow, that I'm not going to start from seed. Let me put it that way.
JB, are you a garden centre?
A little bit. But not for veg, really. I mean, we kind of pop along from time to time, and it's normally for, you know, we've like neglected the back garden. There's lots of gaps, and you could just go and buy like bedding plants, you know, and stick them in for some colour. But it is difficult to go past the veg seed rack without at least picking up a few things.
Totally for me. It's just like, why not? I look at it like you say, it's a pint of lager, and I don't drink much now anyway. So you know what I mean. Right, let's see if I can find some questions. Let's have a look there. Two lads on the lottie. Let's just pop that on there. Two lads on the lottie is asking, anyone growing Asian pear here in the UK? How are they doing? I've just got two put in the lottie. There. That's two lads on the lottie. Asian pear. I've no idea actually what that is. Is it what's an Asian pear? Anybody know what Asian pears are?
They're delicious.
All right,
they look like an apple,
right?
But they have a lighter colored skin, almost like a pear, and a very sweet. I put that in my kimchi.
Wow,
that's one of the things. Yeah, I don't have room on my place for one, but I love Asian pears.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I've eaten them in Turkey. There's another name for them, and I'm struggling to think of it now. No, it's gone. But I've definitely eaten them, and they are really, really nice. Really nice.
They're lovely. They are lovely.
There's a lot of pear names for them, also known as Asian pear, Japanese pear, Chinese pear, Korean pear, Taiwanese pear.
And what are the
Asian, doesn't it? Yes.
What do they say the taste? What do they say the taste is like then, JB? Are you looking on Wikipedia? Are you?
I'm just looking on Google. It just kind of says it's sweet. You can buy them in Tesco, apparently.
Right.
Which I wasn't expecting.
Right, let's have a look. Peter Cross is saying, my greenhouse is like a tropical jungle with chilled tomatoes and cucumbers up to across the roof. Now, I'm not sure what you're asking there, Peter, but I would maybe top of the roof there start thinking about taking the tops off. I don't know. Would that be something you would be doing now, Steve, cutting your tomato tops?
Some of them will be cut this week. The ones in the main tunnel will be cut this week, and some of the ones in the back tunnel will also be cut this week.
I mean, it's quite, you know, we kind of say almost like drastic, you got to cut the tops and then that's it. But the suckers still grow up, so you still got to be on top of them or they'll be away kind of growing, you know what I mean? So, how... No, I was going to ask you, Steve, then, when talking tomatoes, and how's your tomatoes doing? Are you starting to get a harvest at the moment, or?
Oh, we've been eating out of the main tunnel. We've been eating loads. I mean, I've got a couple of pounds in the kitchen now, and I've been making sauces and eating them in salads, like they're going out of fashion. Really good.
Nice.
The ones in the back tunnel, I've actually got a bit of a problem with them. I know this is where I've been doing a fertigation test,
Yeah.
but because the weather's been not so good, they haven't grown as well, although they have grown. And then we had the warm weather, which has given them a spurt. And now the tunnel is actually too hot for them, so all the leaves have curled up. And I'm not getting the fruits actually growing because of that. So I've just bought some new openers for that to put in some windows in that one, because it's worked brilliantly on the big tunnel. And hopefully I can save the end of the season by doing that this week.
What's your end of season in Cockermouth then for, say, tomatoes? Roughly kind of, when would you be thinking, I'll pull them all now, that's it, they're finished?
Probably on an average year, I would say somewhere about the middle of September. On a good year, it can be almost up to December on a good year.
Wow, right.
They can really just keep them going, just keep them ticking over, keep feeding, keep watering. Especially if we've got a mild winter. I mean, sometimes you get to October the 2nd and we get a frost for 5 days and then everything's finished.
Yeah, I know, and that's it. JB, how are the 4 tomatoes going? Have you you've only got 4, you've named them, have you?
We should have let the chat name them. That would have been good. We could have done a poll.
So, have we still got 4 tomato plants?
Yeah, they're good. They're all good. I haven't had the main crop yet. It's just been coming in little drips and drabs.
The main crop.
There's a lot of green fruit. There's a lot of green fruit on there. So yeah, and there's one in the back garden that I haven't actually cropped. I was meant to do that earlier.
Right.
I must remember to do that.
No,
because I keep forgetting. The one in the back garden's got loads of ripe fruit on it. I just kind of forget about it. But I'll get them soon.
JB, we know JB mentioned rather sillily that his mum and dad's watching the show tonight, right?
They might be.
So hello. Hello.
Hello, Mum and Dad.
Hello. I just want to ask you what is your son growing this? What's that? That just looks perfect. Especially when Mum and Dad's on the show, and the way you're holding it, JB, I don't know. It's almost like a doctor checking. Can you cough? Can you cough, sir? What?
It's looking a bit limp, isn't it?
It is. It's just the actual angle is perfect for.
It was in the shade. That's what I'm doing. I'm bringing it into the light.
So have we harvested that one, or is that one still there?
No, that one's still on there. I've had that's my I mean, really, that's my only actual proper surviving cucumber.
Cucumber plant or actual cucumber?
Plant, yeah, I've had loads of fruit off that one. It's really healthy, but the rest are not okay. They're pretty messed up. So I think it's the beds that they're in. I don't think there's enough compost in there. They've not been turned over for that long. It was kind of fallow for a while. Turned it over, started growing straight in it. I think it just needs a bit more.
It's definitely the beds. It's definitely the beds and not the gardener.
I think it's the beds. I think it's the beds.
Let me see. What else have I got? Oh, Audrey, there was a comment on, we're talking about Barry's Crazy Cherry tomatoes, and
yes,
you said, I'm not excited about the flavour. Now, there was a comment, I don't know where it was from Paula T, and she says it's been the 4th year growing Crazy Cherries here in the high desert, and they are great, not like a yellow pear at all. I think a lot has to do with your growing conditions. I plant in goat manure and don't fertilise at all. And I was just wondering, Audrey, would you think different environments, like altitude and different things like that, have a bearing on the flavour?
Well, I imagine, because, where you grow a grape affects how the grapes taste, right?
Definitely.
So I would think be the same with tomatoes.
Right.
I'm waiting for a bigger truss to come in and try them again. But the first ones I tried were pretty flavorless.
Well, it's mine. I've just starting to like. There's a few on a big truss, and I wanted them all to be on the truss at the same time, yellow. You know, I wanted that picture where they were all kind of yellow.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be like dribs and drabs
That's
coming through,
called
which is not.
Photoshop, Tony.
Yeah,
That's called Photoshop.
I know,
yes.
I know.
And then you can get them all
I
yellow.
was there, you know, like led, like kind of. Oh, look, that's what I want. But I think within the next few days, I'll be able to taste them and see what they're like. You know what I mean? Because those black strawberry, Audrey, are delicious, absolutely delicious.
They're almost maybe my new favorite. They're so good.
Well, they're kind of up there with the Brad's Atomic. I mean, it's a hard one to say. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of, once you slice them, and I've actually deleted the picture there, but once you slice them, black strawberries, you know, they're kind of the black red skin, but the red, almost blood wine.
Next year we're all growing Atomic Fusion.
Right.
As well.
Now, what are those then? What are those?
And that's a bigger sized Brad's Atomic Grape.
Oh, you see, this is why I get so excited. You know what I mean? Hello, that'd be fantastic.
Oh yeah, those will be off to you guys soon.
Right. What the called?
I keep collecting seeds. I need to stop and stick them in the envelope. You know,
keep ordering online.
I just need to stop.
No. You carry on. Carry on. I do exactly the same.
Well, Audrey, I'm getting, to be honest, mind you, Audrey, I'm getting an amazing crop of the dwarf beans that you sent over. Kalimas. What? Yes. Lovely.
They're so prolific and they're tasty.
For two people, Audrey, I'm not, and you know, I'm a big eater, but for two people, we can get like say. Pick a plant. 2 plants is a great amount, and that's not picking the whole lot. That's just picking enough to fill it. And you still go back. There's still 2 plants. I've still got a whole load more, and I've got about 15 to 20 plants there. There's just so much from this little square, you know, 8 foot by 8 foot little bit of bed. So I can recommend them.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
GB, have you got any dwarf beans in? Have you doing anything with dwarf?
Never grown a bean in my life.
By God, I'm proud of it.
That's a lie. I've done runner beans, but in a different garden, not in my allotment, and I didn't like them, which is why I've never returned to beans. But next year I will be doing some because I've heard lots of good things. It was similar to peas. You know, peas. This was the first year I did peas. They didn't do great. They were in the dodgy beds. You know, I think they're the dodgy beds. So yeah, I'm really excited to do peas again because they are amazing. So what are beans like? Are beans one of those things that taste really different when they're grown yourself, or are they a bit like?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. I'll give them a go.
Honestly, lovely, absolutely lovely.
Oh yeah, they're so different out of the ground.
Steve, we've got a little question here, Stephen. From Kim. Is asking, when I harvest my lettuce, it goes limp and shrivels up. What am I doing wrong? Please advise. Any advice, Kim?
Yes, definitely. Straight away, plonk it in a bucket of water. I mean, most people will know I pick the outer leaves off my lettuce and they go in a bucket of water. If you're picking a whole head, put it in a bucket of water until you get it home, and then wash it, spin dry it in a salad spinner. Put it in a sealed Tupperware, burp the air out, straight in the fridge, keep it chilled. Mm-hmm. That's the best thing, and that'll stop it instantly. Bucket of water straight away.
But I still haven't found a decent salad spinner. I've tried the tea towel in the backyard. You know what I mean? That one. I've tried, even the daughter's got the fancy one from Costco, which is KitchenAid. You pump it up and down like that. I'm still, because I tell you why, Steve, I like to just kind of cut it and get it into the salad bowl with the olive oil as quick as possible. I don't like a wet leaf at all. Do you know what I mean? Even if you can, you know what I mean? And I like.
I mean, our salad spinner is just a cheap plastic one. That's all you need, and it's got a knob on the top, and you just twist it around, Oh, don't you start. Oh, there we go. What's the bloody point?
What is the bloody point?
No, just spin it and then drain the water out and then spin it again and then spin it in a different direction. It'll come out mostly dry, but what water is left on when you put it in the fridge helps to keep that leaf crisp and in good condition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And you'll find that when you take it out of the fridge, there might be a drip or two of water, but there won't be much.
Do you have OXO brand over there?
Yes.
They make a great, inexpensive salad spinner.
Can you recommend that to the audience, Audrey?
There's very few things that OXO makes. No, I'm going to be honest here. There's very few things they make that I wouldn't recommend.
Oh, right.
I think they're a great, inexpensive kitchen tool company. So yes, I would think I have had a salad spinner, the same one, for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it works just like it used to. I think there's just nothing I would change about it.
So there you go, Kim. It is I knew what Steve was. Get your salad
and also, Kim,
in water.
I would say
Straight away.
What time in the day are you harvesting your
Yeah.
leaves? Because those should be harvested first thing in the morning, or really late in the or after the sun has kind of chilled out.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing it in the hot sun, they're gonna not like that.
Go straight away.
I always leave it the last job on the plot, as I'm like on my way out. Get the lettuce.
What kind of leads me into as well, and I've hit it as well, where we've had like a salad drought. Do you know what I mean? I've kind of, I wanted to take it right the way through, but I guess the heat and I guess like personal things of just like the ones that I put in now, which should be grown, are running to seed. So I'm kind of picking lettuce leaves that have actually gone to seed, but there's a drought now where today we bought 2 bags of salad from Costco, and it was like, look at that, and it was like it was one of me like ambition goals to go right through the season. It's like swearing, and it's like
no, but seriously, if you miss like that window to get more lettuce going, that's what happens.
Oh, I know.
And we don't all have plots like you, Steve, where we have miles and miles of beds where we can put things.
Yeah. I mean, it happens to me as well. It happened to me once last year, and if my new lettuce that I've sown today doesn't get its skates on and get growing, it'll happen again this season. I've got lettuce in this growing that replaced the lettuce before. I've done okay so far this year, but if it doesn't hurry up and get it going, this new sowings today, I will be missing a few weeks. Mm-hmm. But I have a culling plan, so that's all right.
Neighbours.
No.
The neighbours on holiday.
I've done the mushroom crate one. I've started doing the mushroom crates a month early.
All right, right.
Because I do them all the way through the winter.
Yeah.
Because they're just portable, so I can take them home, put them on the kitchen table, the greenhouse.
I forgot all about them, so that's another kind of thing to start.
Yeah, get some in.
I got a couple of bags. JB, then what you doing with your lettuce? Are you going to keep on sowing? Because we're going to try and sow right the way through, and then hitting the mustards for the winter. Is that something you're planning on, or?
I want to try some more stuff over winter, and I was planning on just talking to you guys about it, because that's one of the benefits of having people who know what they're doing at the other end of the phone. Because I think first year I tried growing a few things over winter, and they were rubbish. I think one of the things that a polytunnel is really good for is that overwinter growing, because you can have stuff kind of in the ground. I think it just becomes a bit more difficult if you're trying to do it in, trays or pots in the greenhouse. You need to kind of have a bit more thought about it. Normally I just kind of close down for winter now, shut the greenhouse door, like December, and then it gets to the end of February and I go, oh my God, where's the time gone? I should have been sowing stuff a month ago. So yeah, I think I'll be a bit more on
Well,
it
we are
this
going to
month.
have a. I don't know if it's going to land on Boxing Day, but we're going to have like a Boxing Day special where we all sow our onion seeds because Stephen says it's Boxing Day is the day to sow. Traditional, yes. So
Exactly.
I'm not sure where we land with kind of the lives and that, but you know, if we can have a special onion sowing to get everyone sowing their onions. Because, well, Steve, I know it's funny, but those red ones that I actually bought from a thingy were sown seeds. Not one of them, or maybe one, ran to seed. Now, I've never had that on my plot. Every red one that I put in as a set is bolted. You know what I mean? So I'm never getting them to the finish line. And these are the first ones. JB, what's that? JB, what's that? What's that little cheeky brew there? That would be some...
It's just a cola.
Cola, right there.
It's cola.
I just want to tell Mother, because Mother, if he normally it's just like a neat whiskey, he's supping by the bottle when he comes on this show. You know what I mean? So, right, well, Steve actually told me about the kind of the the mustards going through, and the mustards, mind you, JB, I guess as well, Steve, it's what you sow. You've got to sow the right plant to get you through the winter. You know what I mean? I'm not saying try and grow a tomato through winter, but there's certain varieties like a kind of a cooler climate, and the mustards seem to flourish for me.
Yeah, they do, and it's good really because, as you know, some of these mustards and some of the winter lettuces, they've all got a bit of bite. Some of them are almost hot in comparison to a summer lettuce, shall we say. So you've got all these mustards which are either bitter or hot or peppery. But that's good because in the winter you're cooking casseroles, or you should be, with the cheaper cuts of meat, the ones that need long, slow cooking. They could be quite fatty, and that bitterness or that pepperiness could cut through the fat to make a great balanced meal. So if you're thinking that way, it's absolutely brilliant and perfect. So follow the seasons.
Hey, you know what I mean? It's got to be.
Great.
You know what I mean? When a chef comes on and tells you like tells you the secrets, you know what I mean? Oh, that's fantastic. Have we got anything else? Let's have a look.
It's like that stuff you were talking about last year, the broccoletto that I grew last year. You said you didn't like it; it was too bitter for you. But as I say, if you pair that with like a nice belly pork or a breast of lamb, or even lamb shanks or something like that, the really cheap cuts have got a lot of fat on it. It just marries up so well. And if you look deep into your Italian food, they do that so well as well. Mm-hmm. They're really good at pairing up their foods to complement each other.
I think I've still got some of them seeds left. What were they called again, Steve? Them were they 60?
Broccoletto Quarantino Riccio. Just off the top of my head.
There we go. Right, I've just had an email of someone called Mel saying, "Hi Tony, I'll do a swap, some Barry's Crazy Cherry seeds and the strawberry one. I'll send you some super soil to try." So I have to reply to that. So, there we go. Mel, thank you very much. I do check emails. Audrey, I wanted to get, now I'm guessing I know the answer, but I've seen a lot of people on about lately about keeping poppy seeds and then, like making bread and putting poppy seeds over the bread. Is that something you do? And have you got to have like a certain variety of poppy? You can't just like the wild ones we grow in this country.
I don't see why not. I never have grown poppies just for the seeds. Actually, my husband brought home, he's at one of our local wonderful bakeries, and he brought home a poppy seed loaf. And I got to tell you, it was one of the most horrible things I've ever tasted. So it was stuffed with like just poppy seeds.
Right.
And it was awful. Now, I like when there's a little poppy seed like on the top of a bun or something, or on top of a loaf, but stuffed with them, oh my word, I couldn't say no thank you like fast enough. Yeah, it was awful.
As a chef then, Steve, what's your thought? Is there a certain variety of poppy seed you collect for, like?
To be honest, no, I've never really heard of that. To be honest,
Right. Well,
I don't know.
I was hoping, because I was thinking the garden, like above us, that's kind of covered, but these are like wild poppies, and I was thinking, I wonder if you can keep the obviously you can keep the seeds for flowers. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah, I would have thought they'd be okay, but it'd be best to look on Google first.
you don't
Obviously,
like
I mean,
smashed off your
I'll
head.
be honest. I don't think it's that. It's whether they're poisonous or not. That would be the main concern, I think. I mean, the ones you're thinking, they're the opium poppies, and I think that's almost a completely different breed, isn't it?
Right.
So, but when I was back in catering as such, we used them in such vast quantities that, we were buying them in by 2 or 3 kilos at a time.
Are you going to start making bread, Tony? Is that why
No,
you're asking?
just when you kind of, I'm looking for stories, and it's what catches
Sure.
your eye, and I was thinking, because I still walk through that garden, and there's still a lot of weeds there. There's nothing's getting done, do you know? And I was just thinking, you can kind of hear the seeds rattling, and I was thinking, I wonder if them seeds would be ideal for bread, like poppy seed buns, and bagels with poppy seeds on, but. Like what
You got to be
said,
so careful.
I know.
You got to be so careful with garden plants, though, because so many of them are poisonous and do you harm. You've got to be so careful and do your research first and be absolutely 100% sure. And if you're not 100% sure, buy them from a reputable source. It's as simple as that.
Wise words, lad. Stephen, it's that time now, and Tara Blinkhorn is asking as well, what veg seeds can I sow now to grow and harvest for over late autumn, winter? And as Stephen has said, he's been...
Stopwatch. We need a stopwatch.
Yeah. What have you grown, Stephen?
What have I sown today?
Yes.
The best thing to do, there's this guy on YouTube called Green Side Up, right? And he's just put a video out today all about it.
Has he?
37 seeds. 37 seeds.
Now, wait on then. Has this just gone up now? Like, Steve, 1 second. Let me just see if I can... There we go. There we go.
Look at that.
37 seeds to sow. So, like what you said, Steve, surely to God, you're not going to be growing, even have time to, pot on and sort all those seeds out.
Well, I don't like bare soil over the winter. I really don't, because I just think that's just waste. And it's wasting away. So I will sow them, I'll grow them, and I will plant them. If we don't eat them all, I'll give it away. It's as simple as that, or I'll compost it. Either way, I win.
So will these 37 seeds, is that clickbait, do you think? Is that a good, draw attention draw? Now, we've talked about that before we come on. Well, are all these, Steve, winter loving veg, or you chancing your luck sometimes with some of them and hoping they'll come?
Some of them I am. I mean, I sowed
tomatoes.
One of the cabbage, aubergines. One of the cabbage really is greyhound, and normally I would only plant that in the spring. But I thought, you know what, I'll just try it, because if you get it growing and growing well, it grows really fast, and I can plant them close together, and I might be able to get a harvest of just leaves, spring greens. I say I normally wouldn't sow that until the spring, but chance my arm with it. I'm doing a Durham early cabbage as well at the same time, which is a spring green. So, yeah, you've always got to chance your arm a little bit.
If nobody wanted to watch that video, Steve, can you give her a couple of other seeds that you might want to, that people might want to? If people are repulsed by going on the YouTube, what else could we sow?
Right, well, you can do pak choys. I've sown 3 of them today, a red stem, white stem, and a green stem. You can sow Mizuna. I've got a normal Mizuna, and I've done a red streaks Mizuna as well. There's a tatsoi as well that I've sowed. I've done 2 different types of Chinese cabbage. Would have been 3, but that packet of seeds was rotten. I've sown 2 different types of cauliflower, igloo and all the year round. 2 different types of cabbage, as I say, the Durham early and the greyhound. What else have I sown? Loads of lettuce. And the lettuce, incidentally, I've sown a lot of lettuce because some of the packs have just been sat at the back of my seed box for so long then I'm just testing the viability. If they don't germinate like some packets, I don't think they will, then I could chuck the packet away and start clearing next year. So, yeah, loads of lettuce as well gone in there.
And
Spring onions, herbs, got so much spinach.
Steve, I was going to say, will all this be going in the tunnels, or will eventually some of this be put outside as well over the winter?
A lot of it will go outside, but wherever I can find a space, and what I like to do is double up, put some outside, put some inside, and sometimes I'll even put some in one tunnel and one in another tunnel, because you get different temperature variations and fluctuations. And if you don't ventilate your tunnel, sometimes you can get mildew and you can suddenly lose a dozen lettuce, but they can be fine in the next one or in the beds outside. You just never know with winter. You really don't. So I just blast them out, fill the beds, and then we eat what we eat, and what we don't, we give away or compost, along with the chilies.
Audrey, what about you then? What's your plan for the winter then? Are we doing any seeds?
My plan for the winter is to stay inside. No. I shift to microgreens over winter because I can't grow anything outdoors here. It's way too cold, way too long. So,
and have you got like a regular turnover of microgreens? Have you got like a little system set up where you can kind of have them all winter long?
Well, yeah, I do. I have one little setup for a whole 10 by 20 tray, and I do like 5 by 5 squares of different varieties. And then when I pull one out, I just reseed that one immediately. Well, yeah, that keeps us, at least it keeps us in a little fresh salad. You know,
it must be, Audrey, it must be a kind of a strange time when the kind of this season ends for you. Excuse me, when you know what's about to come and you're not going to have.
Oh yeah, this is like, it needs to get buttoned up pretty quick because once we get those deep freezes, it is over. Yeah,
the
no, we don't. We have, yeah, we like have half a year where we can't grow anything outside.
Well, I tell you what then, I was looking, because you've just put a video, let me just see, and you've got a bit kind of fresh there, Audrey, with your software adding little pictures in. So you've done this little, now these are superimposed on these lavender, but you've getting some lavender.
Absolutely.
Some lavender from Canada. And I was itching to ask you, Audrey, I'm sitting miles back from the mic there, apologise, just realised, what's the complications of like getting plants from a different country for you?
Well, you know, I used to even be able to get seeds. One of my favorite seed companies is over in Ireland, and they are not sending anything to the U.S. anymore, or at least for a while. I think, you know, this whole COVID thing really changed rules for mail. But Canada, I have not had any problems.
Right.
Yeah, but UK and Ireland, I have not been able to get anything.
So you know you've just kind of, I'll just pop it back there. You've just kind of planted them on. Now, whose land is that? Do you know what I mean? Is that classed as yours then? Is it?
Well, okay. Here's the thing with these boulevards here. Technically, the city has rights to it, but I pay tax on it, and I have to take care of it.
Right. All right.
So, yeah. But if my trees that are on the boulevard, because they planted them, need assistance, I can call them and say, "Hey, you need to come trim the trees."
Right. Are you happy with them trees there?
They were planted too high, and that's part of the reason that we're having issues with grass growing on the boulevard. And so I want to turn that into low maintenance, perennial, pretty. That's it. So no grass will end up being on my boulevard.
It was, you ordered quite a few, I'll be honest. Do you know what I mean? There was quite a few lavenders, yes. And
there's like 38. There's like 38 lavenders there.
And each lavender had its own little protective waste bin as well, which I thought was a fab. And actually, like you say, it's good for like grass cutters because they would just like scythe the top off before you even.
Exactly. And that's one I did it for animals, and I did it for our lawn people. I would like those to have a really good start.
That's fab. That's fab indeed. So, yes. Have we got anything else? Let me just have a look. Is anybody at this moment saving any seeds? JB, are you thinking about saving seeds for next year?
You know what? I should be saving my pepper seeds from harvesting those, and I should be isolating the flowers, which is a tip I gave actually on a recent live stream to stop any cross-pollination. And this year I just didn't get around to it. There's like quite a crucial point, you know, to get them on, and if you get them on too late, most of those flowers aren't going to actually fruit. So I kind of messed up on that one, and I'll just buy some more chili seed next year. It's not the end of the world. I'm not very good at saving seed. There's a few things that I quite often try, and maybe I don't store them correctly, or they don't quite go right. Like all of my marigold seed was just useless,
Right.
totally rubbish. My calendula was fine. And that's like the easiest seed to harvest ever. I was gonna try purple sprouting broccoli seed as well, but then I left my plants for ages, and I had some helpful comments saying it's not actually worth saving those seed because of some complicated reason. I think they're not that viable from purple sprouting broccoli. So I'm pretty bad. No, pretty bad. I just buy more seeds most of the time.
What about you, Steve? Are you a seed saver, or is it just the amount you?
I do sometimes. But not a great deal. It'll be less than 1%. Occasionally, I'll save some marigold seeds, but that's literally about it. Marigolds, honesty, sometimes some foxgloves, but even foxgloves don't come true. And you've got to be careful as well, because F1 seeds, they don't necessarily come true if you save them as well. So you've got to know what you're doing. And it's a lot of rigmarole in drying them and sorting them out and taking the rubbish out. And it's, we're looking to buy a packet of seeds for 99p. What am I going to do?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I can say we've got Audrey as well, haven't we? You know what I mean? Audrey's always there to kind of help and send some seeds over. So, you know what I mean?
She's our dealer.
That's
There you go, seed dealer. That's it.
That's it.
There's a T-shirt in that. I like that.
We've got a question from Kiwi Back Gardener is saying, have any of you grown Country Gentleman sweet corn? It's the best tasting corn he's ever tasted. Or they've ever
Never
tasted.
heard of it.
I know, it's something that's not...
Yep, never heard of it.
Well, so, there we go.
What was that called again? What was that called again?
Yeah, I'm going to have Country Gentleman. Country Gentleman. So
JB's currently Googling it and having a look at it, isn't he?
He's looking at it there now.
I didn't Google it yet. I did make a note, though, because I'm intrigued by that one.
Now, there is from Jen Hatt saying, is there any issues? Anyone got any issues with chipmunks in the garden? It's not something you find over here. No, not for us. What squirrels? I suppose. I guess you know what I mean. Squirrels. Steve Tracksuit Dave is asking. I'll just pop this on mine, so I should actually pop it on yours there. How are the cracky herbs coming along? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, cracky. Yeah, the basil is doing incredibly well, and I must do an update on that, but I'm waiting on some video from some friends so I can make that video. But I'm sure they'll hurry up now.
they'll hurry up now, I'm sure, yes.
I'm sure they'll hurry up. But the basil is doing brilliantly. And, we were talking about plants that stopped growing earlier, like the squashes and courgettes. I had a melon that I didn't pot on in time, and that had stopped growing in a small pot. Growing that in crack heat, and it's now sort of growing really quite well and quite strongly. The parsley that I put in is not really doing much, but none of my parsley is this year. It's been hopeless. And I think the last plant, the French bean, I'm just waiting for that to fruit. But the roots on the plants that are in this system, just incredible. So when I do the next tips and clips video, I'll make sure that that's on there so you can see that.
Right. Well, I think Steve's talking to you two there to hurry up and get your finger out and get some work sent over to him.
Message
totally, yeah.
Has yours been received, Tony?
Has what?
Has yours been received by Steve?
It's in the it's. I'm going, as soon as I can. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
He's still
doing.
trying to.
yeah, okay.
He's still trying to pick a camera. This is the problem.
I know. He had to buy new equipment for one tip.
Have a
Okay.
go with something new.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say. Then it was a great. I'll think if I can think of it on the way out. But that was. Nah, it's gone. It's gone. It's one of them things. Shall we get into our tips of the week? JB, you're smiling there. He had 3 in his pocket a couple of weeks ago, so he's still got some. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I was
Okay,
answering a
JB,
question
make mom
about
and dad
chilies in the
proud.
chat.
Good tip.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so my tip for this week. This will only really make sense if you saw my latest video, but don't leave any clothing at the allotment. No, I'm joking. That's not my
That's
actual
right.
tip.
Yeah.
For those who didn't see it, I always leave stuff at the allotment, like all the time. One time, I had lost my sunglasses for like weeks, literally like 2 weeks. I was like, where the hell are they? They'd fallen off my head into like my peas. So I was on the allotment one day and they were literally like sat in my peas. I was like, oh, there they are. But yeah, I left my hoodie there and something, possibly rats, which is a bit gross, possibly foxes, has torn loads of holes in it. I was really sad as well because I've had that hoodie for like 15 years. It's like my favorite. But no, my actual tip, and this is a bit of a weird one, but appropriate for the time of year. And I was at the allotment earlier and I remembered when this happened to me once. But if you've got water butts that you're filling from the hose pipe, just make sure you don't leave the hose in, like actually in the water butt, because what can happen because of physics somehow is all of the water can get sucked back out of your water butt, which is exactly what happened to me once. And I came back and the water butt was empty, and I was like, I didn't use that water. So I looked at the bed.
JB, that's actually
on the bed.
That's the thing, JB, mind you, because that's called like back siphoning. So
yeah,
has that water went back into the system, the water supply?
No, because I'd unplugged from the hose.
Right. So it just so it just like siphoned into the garden.
It just emptied out. It just went all the way through the hose and then tipped back out on the bed.
Right.
I thought someone had nicked my water. I was like, who's been using it? I mentioned it to someone and they were like, did you leave the hose in? I was like, yes.
It was the rats having a drink after eating your hoodie.
Yeah.
That's a top tip there, JB. Thank you very much, Dad. Stephen.
Yes. Well, my tip, as always, is always to think of the future. And right about now, I was just seeing the results of the crops coming in, and you're thinking, this worked, that didn't work, and this worked partially. Start thinking of your next season and start your planning early. If you start your planning early, get the seed catalogue, get the seeds, you can start working towards it. It just makes next season so much more of a breeze if you start thinking now as the crops are coming in.
That is a good one. Because it's like you do kind of. It's almost like a tradition that like have it on a cozy winter night. Like that kind of seed looking and that. But if you can get like a bit like your Sony seeds, if you can get like a little hedge up and like beat the system.
Yeah.
You know
just make some notes. Some notes so that when you sat there in winter, you've got them to think, oh yeah, those courgettes weren't quite right. It might have been the variety. I'll go with something else. Oh, froze again.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Look at that.
Oh, we thought we were going to be good there. We'll go to Audrey then for tip of the week. Audrey.
Tip of the week is, because I this is like a lot of beds are being flipped right now. When you take out beans or peas or lentils, cut the roots off at soil level and let them stay in the ground. These are all nitrogen fixing plants, and it's not immediately available, but if you let that sit in the ground, like say over winter, you will have actual nitrogen available for the next crop. Now I'm doing, I did a whole 3 by 8 foot bed where I just planted some dwarf beans in to try to squeeze that in here. And I'm going to cut those off at the root. And in the spring, that's going to become my lettuce bed. And I think the lettuce will really appreciate that extra hit of nitrogen.
Well, I will do exactly that, Audrey. I will do exactly that with mine when those beans, I'll leave them in there, cut them at the root, because it's the
Just cut them off at the base.
it's the nodules, isn't it? And you can kind of see them. You know, you can physically kind of see them as well. So
They take it from the air, and then it needs time to become available in the dirt. So you can't. It's not like immediately available. So let it just take its time over winter and fill the bed up with some new nitrogen.
there we go. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. So that is how we got the time. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're all right. We're done. Good. It is to tell you as well, I've mentioned this already, this is the last one on my channel. We're now moving lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels over to the Potty Mouth one, which is there. Please subscribe. That would be fantastic. There's going to be lots, just different things on that channel as well. So not just like on a Monday night. We're going to have Audrey. There's one thing would like to kind of me and you just to get together one day and talk about, like you're preserving and you're putting them in that what's it called, something that kind of warms them and kind of dries them out.
Oh, dehydrator.
Dehydrate that, and just have a little chat about that.
I have a lot of Korean chili peppers that have dried already, and I'm so excited.
Oh, very nice.
That's like such a good all-around seasoning.
So,
yes.
Thank you, everyone. It has been a pleasure. JB, thank you very much, sir. I hope Mum and Dad's proud of you. You did them proud today, lad. No messing about. Professional gardener. What's a bloody point. Stephen, always a pleasure. Never a chore, sir. Always great advice. Thank you indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you to JB's mum and dad for popping in as well.
Yes.
It was nice to have them watching over their son.
I'm going to immediately call them after.
I know. It was on the same time as Coronation Street. Look, we just thought
Audrey, JB, you're such a good sport. You just are.
Audrey, thank you so much as well. That's lovely. Thank you again.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So, like I say, we will be on another channel next week, but do pop over and join us there for more hilarious fun and games and some fruity JB. Look at that.
Hey.
Dr. JB. Hey, Doctor, what's wrong with that? Right, take care, everyone. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great week.
Bye-bye.